This episode is brought to you by Elevate OS, the only all-in-one community operating system. Elevate OS transforms property management, combining resident engagement, reservations, rent payments, maintenance, and concierge services into a single super app. It also uniquely integrates access control, intercoms, package lockers, and thermostats, eliminating app fatigue and redefining modern apartment living. Visit elevateos.com/MMN for a free demo and see how they can help you level up your operations. Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Collective. Today, let's talk about the agentic workforce. I know we're probably beating a dead horse here, but I think that one of the things that is really apparent and will come to be in the year 2025 and moving into 2026, and whatever you want to cite as the underlying premise for this, the agentic workforce is making its way in. And it doesn't matter what type of organization you run. It doesn't matter what kind of work you are doing. In some way, shape, or form, the agentic workforce is going to move in and it's going to disrupt the traditional hierarchy in multifamily. And I just read a little story, sort of a short blurb about 2025 from somebody in the CRE space. And the quote that I found most alarming is, most administrative roles across all departments will be replaced, at least partially, with tech roles. So tech in my head, meaning agentic or AI or co-pilots, whatever you want to call them. But I think that it's interesting with what happened at Rent dot, however you say that, with the layoffs that happened in the last couple of days. It's the beginning. It's not even the beginning. It is the result of a groundswell that started happening, let's say 10 years ago. And I used to describe it as this tsunami of PropTech. PropTech is this tsunami that is making landfall in the multifamily space. And I was saying that let's say 6 or 7 years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago. So saying that the tsunami that's making landfall into the multifamily space, and as tsunamis go, right, they come in and then they wash everything back out to sea. And I think you're seeing that in the multifamily space now. You're seeing that broadly speaking across industries, but you're seeing it in the multifamily space now. That tsunami landed. Let's say it landed in 2020 or 2021. And it made its way inland. It took some time. This is a slow-moving tsunami. It took some time to sort of reach its moment of extension on land. It's taken a little bit of time to go to take everything back out to sea, but this is part of that, right? This is part of washing some things out to sea and resetting what the multifamily space is going to look like in more broadly industry, what industry is going to look like on a go for it. And it's going to happen. I've been saying this for years. It's going to happen swiftly, but overnight. It's going to seem like it's overnight and swiftly, but it's been making its way into the space for the better part of 10 years now, plus or minus. We could go back 15 years ago or even longer and say that centralization as we know it, or what I call organizational design, was happening 15, 16, 17 years ago at Equity Residential. And I mean, I'm sure it was happening at other REITs, but I happen to work at Equity Residential. I was exposed to that reorg of workflow at that moment in time. So one could argue that that's when it started. But what's happened now is that technology has caught up with the organizational design, and it's really fueled the org design so that you have these workflows that do not necessitate, if that's a word, necessitates people. You don't need people. You just automate the workflows. And in the CRE space, in the multifamily space, if you go to any office that doesn't have a tremendous amount of technology implemented, you'll see paper everywhere. You'll see paper everywhere. Paper on the desk, paper in the drawers and files. But in an automated work world, in a automated digitized work world, you don't see any of that. You see very clean desks. Pretty soon, those computers are coming off the desk too, because I believe there's a day coming very, very soon where you don't need computers. You don't need your traditional CPU and screen on a desk. You don't need any of that. You really don't. You don't need it today, but it's going to take a little time for people to get used to that because they're used to nesting behind this screen and doing work. Sometimes not doing work, surfing the internet or doing whatever they do. But it's here. It's happening. Rent laid off a bunch of people. My imagination tells me that that was due in part to some automated workflows. I don't know that to be a fact. It's complete speculation on my part, but my imagination tells me that that organization is implementing some workflows that are digital in nature, and there's not a room for a person anymore. They don't need the human doing that work anymore because AI is doing it. The workflows have been digitized. So there you go. We've been talking about it for years, and here it is. It's happening, and you're going to see it happen more and more in 2025. We're going to look back in 26 or in 27. We're going to look at 26 and 25, and we're going to look at those as the years where this groundswell happened. This tsunami made landfall. It swept everything back out to sea, and you're going to see what's left over. 27, you're going to look back at 26 and 25, and you're going to see what's left over. It's going to be a whole new world as it relates to our workflows. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.